How do you go about operating at the highest level and getting the most out of yourself and others around you? Well, I'm going to talk about that and more in today's episode, so you're not going to want to miss it. Let me ask you something. Are you hitting success yet you know that there's another level? Or perhaps you're just getting started. You're trying to put all these pieces together, get your first deal, but something's holding you back. Or maybe you're going through a big change in your career and your life, but for some reason you just can't take the steps you need to know in order to move forward. Well, I've been having a lot of really incredible conversations with people who are in the exact same position as you are, and they've been able to make massive change happen very quickly. Whether that's doubling your income within just a few months, whether that's making some kind of big shift in your life and really unlocking that vision, or perhaps it's just getting clear on what that vision needs to be so that you can really take those steps. Of course, you guys know me, host of the Investor Mindset here, Stephen Pesavento, and high performance coach. I've been working with clients for years, seeing and helping them see major results. And I'd love to set up a call to discover if it's possible to be able to help you with some of those same things. If you are in a position where you want more and you're committed to taking some steps to get there, then I encourage you to head over to investormindset.com/discover and let me know a little bit more information about you. Set up a call and we'll jump on and we'll walk through a discovery process. Totally complimentary. You'll walk away with a lot of clarity. And if there's some way that I can help serve you, I'll let you know that too. So you can just head over to investormindset.com/discover. And I look forward to serving you. This is the Investor Mindset Podcast. Welcome back to the Investor Mindset Show. My name is Stephen Pesavento, and each week we share mindset tips and real estate investing strategies to help you take your business and your investment portfolio to the next level. And this week is no different. We're going to be diving into the topic that is so important as we get to the end of the year and start setting ourselves up for success. And it comes down to getting extremely clear on what it is you want and why you want it. Now, we talk about this throughout lots and lots of episodes, but it's one of the most important topics, and you can't hear it enough. Because if you think you've got it all figured out, ask yourself another question. See if you can, is it possible that I could improve this? Is it possible that I could go to another level? And the answer usually is you can. And so when you take the time to sit down, and it's really important at the end of the year, but it's important to do every single day. And one of the things that I recommend to all my clients, all the high performers that I work with, and that work with the Investor Mindset, is you want to set aside time to really reflect, to answer that question, what do I want and why do I want it? Why is that important to me? What does that look like? And really start painting that vision of your future. Now, at the end of every year, it's a very popular thing to set new goals for the new year. It's a reset of the calendar, which is an opportunity for us to wipe our slate clean and go after something new. Well, great. Let's use this time that societally is expected for us to set new goals and have new aspirations. Let's do that. But let's also do this every month. And let's do this every quarter. And let's do this every week. And in small ways, let's do this every day. Now, we want to sit down and we want to get really clear on what those big items are. What are those big rocks? There's the old story of when you have a jar, if you want to fill it up with the absolute most things, and you want to fill it up as tightly and be most effective and efficient as possible, you want to start with the big things. So you want to start getting clear on what are those big things that are important to you in your life. And they typically fall into different categories. Categories like health, categories like finance, categories like your business, your career, your family, fun, skills that you're going to develop, places you're going to go. These different categories are where we start out first. And what I always recommend is to sit down and do a little brainstorming. Open up your mind to new possibilities. Get yourself creative. Get yourself moving physically. Dance around, play some music, get a little goofy, and try to get out of that serious, everything has to be a certain way because it's the way I've always believed. Open up those beliefs and then sit down and start dreaming. Dreaming as if you were a kid. Dreaming as if everything was possible, and really start thinking to yourself, well, what could my life look like if I was to wave a magic wand? And we get into that state and we jot all these things down and we don't censor ourselves and we really start writing. We work through a whole process, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe an hour. You're getting creative. You're answering different questions that are priming you into this place of discovery of what it is that you could want, and then going into step 2, which is, why do I want it? Why are these things important to me? What are they going to provide for me? What's the underlying motivating factor of that? And that's where you get the real juice to get things done. Now, what is actually the most important? Now, a lot of people say, hey, start with why. Great. Our whys are usually pretty similar. They help us understand the what even further. If we keep asking why, we can actually understand what the purpose of that what is, and that can sometimes help us change the what. It can actually help us redefine it or further refine our understanding of what that is. So as we get clear on these things, then we can make some decisions. Because only once we've got all the options down on the table, then we can sit down and we can quickly cross off things that we know aren't actually important to us, that we were just dreaming and just having some fun with, but that aren't really that important. Or maybe we wrote down some things that we didn't actually want, but we didn't want to censor ourselves in the process, so we just wrote it down to keep ourselves moving. Well, as you're going through, what you're going to have is you're going to have all these objectives. So what you're going to have is you're going to have all these objectives or these goals. You're going to have these ideas, and you're going to have them down on paper on your computer screen. Now, I love on paper when you're kind of getting creative like this. Cross things out, throw paper away, just have some fun with it. Now, this is where I say these are the big rocks. You're going to decide what are the 3 most important things for me to focus on this year. And I like to put things in groups of 3s. 3s is just an easy thing for a mind to remember. You think about why phone numbers are in groups of 3 and 4. Sure, you can go 4, but there's something magical about 3. So when we got 3, we think, what are those 3 most important things for the year? What are those overarching categories or buckets that these things are going to fall into? And then we can go further. We can refine that further down. We can break that out a little bit further. And all my clients know we love to do this together. But I'm going to give you a little taste of what it looks like when you're working with a high-level coach that really understands how to get the most out of you. He's going to ask great questions to help you go a little bit further. So in this process, what I want you to do is I want you to ask, well, what are those key activities that are going to help me reach this first objective or this first goal? So you're going to start with just that one. You're going to ask that question over and over again. Again, you're brainstorming. You're taking all the ideas. Some of them may not be the best option. And you're going to think to yourself, well, with my skills, my resources, and the people that I currently have within my company, what is it going to take, or what do I have the best chance of succeeding? Which of these different tasks or activities is going to best align? We're going to prioritize those. So at the end of this, we're going to cross off things. We're going to end up having is we're going to have our 3 most important things. We're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, whatever those different action items are. The more we can break those down into actionable steps, the more that we can then plan that into our calendar later. Just a little bit of a hint about what's coming next. So you want to get clear on what you want and why you want it. And the reason for that is it gives you the power and clarity to actually go and do it. Then you know, hey, should I hire this consultant to show me how to do this? Should I hire this person on my team that's going to help us scale? Should I bring in a high performance coach that's going to help me get the most out of myself and to really be able to unlock my true potential? Should I be hiring a mentor, someone who can show me the specific path that they took and I'm going to follow in those steps? These are all very different things. But until you get clear on what you want and why you want it, it's going to be difficult for you to know with a certainty, a high level of certainty, that this is the direction you want to go. So with all of this, we can always go another level deeper. And so the last thing I'm going to give you is I'm going to recommend that after you've gotten clear on your goals and what those action steps are, to take them essentially sub-goals, which are really the how. It's answering that question, how am I actually going to get where I want to be? How am I going to know that I'm there? Is another question you want to answer. But as we get that plan together and we've got that, now we want to break that down into quarterly and monthly objectives. You're probably going to be able to easily plan your next quarter, but you might not be able to plan the last. We're going to do our best. We can always move things around. But then the final thing that I want you to do, and it's so important, is you're going to schedule time on your calendar to actually achieve these things. This is so critical. If you're growing a business, you must be doing this on a daily and weekly basis. You must be running your life with this kind of intention. Now, if you're working for somebody else, you're working at a W-2 or you're working in your own business, you've got to be planning this stuff out so that you can get the most and provide the most to your employer, so you can be the most valuable person you can, not only for yourself, but it's your duty. And that's going to end up leading you to making more income and living more in alignment. Now, and of course, if you're an investor and you're looking just simply to place capital, what more valuable activity could you do than sitting down and getting really clear on what you want and why you want it, and putting a plan together to know whether or not you found it or where you're going to find it, what actions you're going to take to know that you're looking at the right kind of opportunity. So this stuff is so critical. It's so important. You're going to hear me talk about it over and over again because it's one of the core principles of living with the investor mindset, is living with a level of clarity to know what you want, why you want it, and how you're going to go about getting there. If you're interested in learning more about how to apply this directly in your own life, to be able to grow your business, your career, your investments, and truly to start living with more joy and happiness, then I invite you to learn what it looks like to work directly one-on-one with a certified high-performance coach. And you can find out more about working with me directly or others at investormindset.com/coaching. You can head right over there. All the information you need to understand if this is the right fit for you and where you're at in your life. I encourage you to run with this information, go take action on it immediately, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the Investor Mindset Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share with a friend. Head over to theinvestormindset.com to join the Insider Club, where we share tools and strategies from the top investors and entrepreneurs on how to take it to the next level.